Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Nella, and I'm a customer success specialist here at Naviant. And I know why we're all here, to listen to my beautiful voice. Just kidding. I know that we're here to talk about agenda management and to share our quick tips. I'm very excited to talk about some new enhancements that have been made to the OnBase Agenda Management suite of products and to dive deeper into each product. And with that, let's talk through our agenda. Today, we're talking about agenda management. I'll start off with an overview of the agenda management suite of products. With each product, I'll review an enhancement that has improved their process. And then we'll talk about some quick tips to remember when working with agenda management. Finally, I'll hop into the demo where I will show some features within OnBase Agenda, as well as configure a meeting while we're at it. So a great deal of planning goes into preparing for a meeting, conducting the meeting, and getting the updated information to those who need it once it's all said and done. Here we have the meeting management framework. I like this image because it showcases each module being used before, during, and after a meeting. Users have the ability to create meetings, agenda items, and supporting materials before the meeting is held. And after the meeting, these can all be compiled and packaged for easy distribution to stakeholders, council members, and other attendees. Agenda items are created via Unity forms. Therefore, anywhere a Unity form is accessible, so are agenda items. This makes it easy for agenda item reviewers and approvers to act on items in whichever OnBase client they're used to doing workflow work in. In this outline, you can see the agenda management suite of products is utilized through the stages of a meeting. OnBase Agenda is responsible for configuring the meeting and its supporting materials. The OnBase Agenda to Go iOS application can be used to review materials before and during meetings. Agenda Minutes is used to start a meeting, and voting can be utilized for collecting participants' votes during the meeting. And after the meeting is over, Agenda Online is used to distribute the meeting documents and the updated agenda. The OnBase Agenda Management suite of products empowers government organizations to effectively manage a variety of meeting types. Not only do government organizations need these tools, but so do others such as universities and project managers. Each meeting type can be configured to follow the same format each time the meeting is held. In addition, automating the process of creating meetings, meeting documents, and publishing meeting information to a website has provided users with free time for other processes. Now let's take a closer look at each module in the suite of products along with the enhancements made to each. The first module we'll discuss in the suite of products is the OnBase Agenda. Users can create new meetings, agenda items, as well as access workflow and reporting dashboards from here. OnBase Agenda is used to create meetings along with supporting documents for each. Users can also generate an agenda or a meeting packet for distribution to meeting participants. These generated documents can then be archived into OnBase for long-term storage. Meeting managers have the ability to configure meeting elements with OnBase Agenda. OnBase Agenda is home to the Agenda Administration. Agenda Administration gives meeting managers the ability to configure all the elements that make up each meeting, such as agenda items that can be configured with their item type, status type, and other fields. Meeting bodies are configurable with which members will be attending the meeting, along with the option to identify their roles. Packet configuration includes the option to configure agenda item packets and meeting packets. Meeting types can be created to include the agenda outline for each meeting type. And there's so much more configuration that goes on within agenda administration. By utilizing OnBase Agenda, users can create and manage meetings efficiently, which reduces time spent searching for and organizing the related documents and information before the meeting is held. Moving into the enhancements, I know that Unity forms are not conventionally a part of agenda management, but I can't talk about agenda management without discussing how Unity forms can be utilized. Unity forms have the option to be used for agenda items available as of OnBase 18 Service Pack 1. This change brings many new capabilities and much needed flexibility to the agenda management suite of products. Here's some of those advantages. Anywhere that you can access a Unity form, you can now access agenda items. Because of this, item submitters and reviewers can ditch the agenda client and use other OnBase clients they're already familiar with, such as Web or Unity client and Outlook integration. Only the users that manage the meetings will still need the agenda client installed. More of the Unity form features are now available to agenda items. This includes custom actions, advanced options, and full security management of form components. The form field values are now stored with the Unity form data and are available with the document workflow actions. Now we can use only a single portfolio relation to get the agenda item entity, to set status, or get meeting details into the item property. No more looping through all the agenda fields to get values. The values can be pooled and set right from the keyword fields on the form. Unity form changes specific to Foundation EP1, starting out with the Unity form attachment control, has been updated to allow a single rearrangeable list of attached documents. You can now attach multiple documents to the form at the same time. And in the case that you added a document by mistake or it was simply no longer needed, the remove attachment feature allows us to remove the document. It's important to note that it's not deleting the document from OnBase, but simply unlinking it from the Unity form. Also in the past, if you've deleted a document, you may remember seeing a placeholder message in the attachment list on the form indicating the attached document has been deleted. This feature now allows you to remove the link so that that message won't appear anymore. And attaching an existing OnBase document to the Unity form allows for less duplication of documents in the system. If you know you already have a document in OnBase, there's no need to import it again. Changes have been made to OnBase Agenda and Foundation EP1 to provide additional capabilities for configuration. Meeting defaults have been introduced for quicker creation of meetings. The meeting name, location, organizer, meeting time, next meeting, and the next meeting type can all have a default value configured. You can now access workflow and reporting dashboards in the agenda client. With these being added, the clerk can accomplish most of the item and meeting prep work without ever leaving the agenda client. A pre-built set of agenda-specific reports have been made available and can be imported into your system upon request. Improvements have been made to the attendee management during the meeting creation. It's now required to assign members to a meeting body that you've created. The user interface will now show a warning icon when attendees have not been added and will not allow you to save the meeting body without them. This helps guide the users and prevent problems due to missing attendees. Wondering how to access meetings when you're not at your computer? Agenda to Go is an app specifically designed to give you the ability to download a meeting to your iPad. You can also work on meetings in offline mode if you have downloaded the meeting while connected to a network. Any annotations made to meeting documents in online or offline modes are saved locally to your iPad and can be modified as needed. Currently, this app is only available on the iPad. OnBase Agenda to Go is a great tool to allow board members to prepare for the meeting by reviewing all meeting materials, including agenda items and the supporting documentation. It provides the ability to securely take notes on the meeting, flag agenda items of interest, mark up supporting documents, and share notes annotations via email to staff, all done within an iPad. This is also an awesome tool to help eliminate paper meeting packet distribution. Before we hop into the enhancements made to Agenda to Go, I want to pause here. Since we are talking about applications and enhancements, Hyland has decided to expand mobile usage to the rest of OnBase and designed an application called OnBase Mobile. This is introduced in EP4, and essentially it provides a single alternative to the legacy natively developed apps. OnBase Mobile is supported by both iOS and Android devices, and if you want to learn more about this new app, visit community.hyland.com and search for the OnBase Mobile product page. Okay, unpausing now. So the Agenda to Go enhancements. Agenda to Go has been improved in many ways. While viewing documents with Agenda to Go, users have the capability to view larger files over 100 megabytes. They're also able to modify annotations by using the undo, redo, and delete features. Annotations also have been improved to retain visible while zooming in and out on the document. Annotations on these documents can also be shared through email along with any notes you wish to send. Searching within documents while utilizing Agenda to Go has been improved, along with adding text description to bookmarks. If you have an Apple Pencil to accompany your iPad, Agenda to Go now supports utilizing the Apple Pencil within the app. Some more enhancements made to Agenda to Go include a new icon that has been added to indicate a newer version of a previously downloaded document. The viewer now indicates a supporting document as is if a supporting document is a part of a closed session item or has been marked confidential. This is valuable to the board members reviewing the documentation in that it's a quick and easy visible reminder of what information is sensitive. The newest language added to the supported languages is Arabic. I'm half Arabic, so I think that's pretty awesome. And default meeting search results list is automatically displayed in the meeting page, showing upcoming and recent meetings sorted newest to oldest. This can save the user multiple clicks and allows them to get them to the meeting data quicker. The user preference setting has also added the option to turn this on or off. And lastly, users now have the ability to select hyperlinks within a supporting document and navigate out to the external URL. The next product, a part of the suite, is Agenda Voting. Agenda Voting provides the ability to communicate the voting process of agenda items to the public. Any organization that holds meetings can use the voting client to revolutionize the meeting process. The solution allows members to submit their own votes, which reduces the amount of time spent by the meeting manager to solicit, record, and save votes in the minutes application. This solution allows voting members and support personnel the opportunity to electronically cast votes on motions. The voting client also provides an effective approach to recording the events of the meeting, making it easy for the supporting personnel to follow along and manage the meeting as it's in session. To utilize the voting client, voting must be enabled on the meeting level and members must be linked to OnBase users in agenda administration. The first enhancement made to voting is the configuration option for the member request to speak feature. Before EP3, the request to speak button was always visible in the voting client. Now in EP3, meeting administrators have the option to remove the visibility of this button. Many meeting bodies are more informal and do not have the need for a formal request to speak process. This option to hide the request to speak button gives the voting client users a cleaner user interface and will eliminate any confusion as to how those members should be requesting to speak. Another configuration option that had changes made to it is the voting buttons. Before EP3, all vote options were always visible in the voting client. Now in EP3, meeting administrators have the option to remove the visibility of certain voting options. Meeting administrators also have the option to randomize the order of these buttons each time the votes are presented. This helps maintain the integrity of a blind vote by preventing members from watching others. Next up, we have Agenda Online. Agenda Online is a customizable web portal that allows you to publish meeting documents, and videos to your website to provide information to shareholders. The OnBase Agenda Online portal allows you to view documents and public meetings that have been published to the portal from Agenda. This provides the public the ability to view the meeting's agenda, minutes, and summary documents. Agenda administrators Agenda Administrator provides the ability to customize the Agenda Online portal. You can select which options will display on the online website. Options are available to create custom pages for Agenda Online. You can also provide styling options for the Agenda Online interface. Within Agenda Online, public comments can now be submitted in the Agenda Online web portal as of Foundation EP1. A new button can be configured per meeting type, which will display a shared Unity form to collect public comment information so that as the users are looking at particular items in a meeting in the Agenda Online web portal, they can easily submit a comment. Once submitted, the Unity form can then be processed by workflow and follow whatever procedure you have in place to review the public comments. And last but certainly not least of the products in the Agenda Management suite of products is Agenda Minutes. Agenda Minutes has the capabilities to assist during all phases of a meeting. Before a meeting begins, managers have the pre-meeting mode to pre-annotate the meeting. Agenda Minutes is used to start conducting live meetings, and meeting managers have the tools necessary to take roll call, record information such as motions, votes, minutes, and notes. Within Agenda Minutes, you can also record audio and video of the meeting to share on Agenda Online portal after the meeting is adjourned. Agenda Minutes also gives users the opportunity to participate in meetings by casting their votes and motions. And after the meeting, Minutes provides the means for finalizing the meeting minutes. Meeting managers are able to edit entries made during the meeting, such as minutes, motions, and votes. They can also update the event points in the media recording to share with the necessary groups. Sharing videos online has become a great way to provide others with information. Agenda Media provides the ability to record, view, publish, and archive video and audio content related to an event. It records and live streams for a meeting as well as keeps track of agenda items timestamps. This allows the public in the Agenda Online web portal to jump right to the correct point of the video when rewatching the meeting as they click on the agenda items they're interested in. With options to integrate with an existing YouTube account, OnBase Agenda Media can provide a high-quality live and on-demand media stream that will take your meeting accessibility to the next level. Agenda Media is integrated with other OnBase modules, such as OnBase Agenda when configuring the meeting, OnBase Minutes when recording video and audio, and as we already know, Agenda Media is integrated with OnBase Agenda Online when sharing the media to the public. Getting used to agenda management can take some time, but I want to provide you with some quick tips to keep in mind when working with OnBase Agenda. The first tip is to use the Unity form for agenda items. Utilizing the Unity forms gives you that flexibility that we all love by allowing agenda information to be accessed throughout OnBase. Remember that agenda item forms can be shared via hyperlink and displayed via a web browser. So submitters do not need to have the OnBase client installed in order to open and submit the form. If it's your first time configuring a Unity form as an agenda item, there are 3 fields that must be configured on the form, otherwise you get some errors thrown at you. That is the meeting type, the agenda item type, and the agenda item title. We'll visit these in the demo. Hyland provides out-of-the-box agenda templates and minute templates, as well as workflow solutions for easier configuration. Many times, these templates will give you 80% or more of what you're looking for with only minor changes needed to them. Also, there's a lot of simple ways to customize the Agenda Online pages via agenda administration. It's considered best practice to restart Agenda after making any configuration changes. Some configuration changes only take effect once Agenda has been restarted. Working with Agenda Management is a good way to get started with understanding the value of reporting dashboards. You can reach out to support to request access to these pre-configured reports. Keep aware of any newly released enhancements, especially as they relate to workflow actions. Hyland continues to add features to leverage other features of OnBase from within Agenda. And as always, Hyland Community is an awesome tool to expand your knowledge. You can follow the Agenda Management product page. Here you can access blogs, forums, ideas, and training videos. By joining the page, you can stay up to date on all things agenda management. Now that we've reviewed the Agenda Management suite of products, the enhancements, and some quick tips, it's time for the demo to visualize all of this information. We're going to want to jump into OnBase Agenda to show how it looks within a Foundation EP3 environment. All right, pull that up, get a sip of water. All right, so here we have OnBase Agenda launched and ready to go. And here is the dashboard, the home page that is shown once it's launched. At the bottom here, you can see that you can search for meetings by meeting type and meeting date. And you can also toggle over to the agenda item search to search for an agenda item. Above that, we have the workflow pane that showcases the agenda items that are utilized within workflow. And above that, we have the home ribbon, which I'm going to skip over this for now, and we're going to go to File and open up Agenda Administration. You see here it opens in a new window. I'm just going to make her bigger. And this is where we have that capability to configure components for different types of meetings. So let's say that I want to create just a basic meeting for a focus group to review our webinars and provide feedback. That's going to be our scenario for this demo here. So at the top of this ribbon, we have this ribbon here. We're going to start all the way down at the left with the button that's already highlighted, status types. So this first section here is agenda items. Agenda items are the items that you can add to an agenda that will be included in the meeting. So you can see the status types here, which are used to communicate where the agenda items are in the review process. The next button over we have is agenda item fields. These are used to store and track information about agenda items, such as the agenda item field, who the meeting is initiated by, and item status. Next button, we got the supporting documents type for an agenda item. These are OnBase documents used for the purpose of providing further details and information about an agenda item. We're going to use this supporting docs existing one already. And last but not least, we got types in our agenda item section. And these are just used to group and classify agenda items. So let's create a new one for our focus group. We'll call it focus group item type. And then we'll want to add over our item fields. So I'll just double click on all of these because I want to know everything about this meeting. And we'll click save. All right, so the next section that we have up in our ribbon is the meeting body. This is where we can configure groups of members for this meeting type. So we'll start off by members, and we have the list of created members here. We'll add one more to the list. We'll add Angela Martin, and she's just a regular member. And then over here, you can see where you can link the OnBase user. So I'm going to scroll down and find Angela. All right, so you see that's linked there, and I will click save. And she shows up in our little list here. We can navigate one button over to the roles, and we'll add that new role that I gave Angela, just that basic member. And I'm going to leave both of these privileges selected. I'm going to click save, and then we see it pop up here. So finally, we're ready to construct the body. So let's click new. We'll make this our focus group body. It's a focus group type. Focus group description. All right, and then we can add our members. I'll just add over my members here, and then we can add the roles to them. So we can select one and we can give it the submitter role. We can select the next one. He's a reviewer. Angela's just a member. Dwight's a member. And Michael Scott is the organizer. So then you can see the roles labeled there as well as underneath their names. And we'll click save. Up in our ribbon again, the next section that we have is the document templates, and there is a single meetings document button here. So these are Microsoft Word docs with tags and configuration tables in them. We'll be using this existing agenda template. And at the bottom, at the template source, you can either import a document into OnBase, or you can find an existing document from OnBase. So those are two choices here. And then if I see my document that I have selected, if I click that little magnifying glass, it'll open it up. I can see all my lovely tags for this document. So remember that these are out-of-the-box templates that can be provided by Hyland and are available upon request. So the next section we have is the packet configuration. If I select my meeting packets template, we can see this existing one here. Just a note that meeting packets have two types of packet types, agenda and minutes. Those are the only two that you can choose from. And they're the only two that exist. Next button in the packet configuration section is the agenda item packet templates. We'll be also using this existing one here. These are only made available in the agenda view. They are not able to be created in OnBase minutes. So just note that here. The next section we have over here is the meeting type, which I think is the best part. We get to configure everything into a type. So we'll start out with the outline template, and we'll create our new focus group template. I'll do focus group outline. And then in this white space, I can make a new section, and I'll call it roll call. And then we'll do another one. And this is where we'll hold the discussion of the webinars. And then if I want to make a section inside of a section, have a subsection, I can right click on the section and select new subsection here. So now it's within the section, and I'm going to edit this and rename it votes. And then we'll make a final section just to adjourn the meeting. All right, and then we can go one tab over from outline to numbering, and we can add a number format. So I can select the add button here. The first level will pop up, and I'm going to give the first level the uppercase Roman numerals. And then I can select the add button right here, and it'll give me a level 2. And since we only have 2 levels configured here, I'm just going to make them the lowercase Roman numerals. And then we can save. We can see our new outline here with our outline, all of our sections, and our numbering format. And finally, we can create our meeting type. So we'll click new up here, we'll call it focus group meeting type. And we'll want to select our focus group body and our focus group outline. And then there's a bunch of settings in here that we can play around with, but I'm going to save it first, see it pop up in my list here, and then I can still have access to all of those settings. So the first one we have is security. This is where we can configure rights for user groups. So I'm going to scroll down to the manager group. And I'm just going to give it administrator group rights, user group rights, and that automatically selects the rights below here. So these are all read-only now and all pre-selected for me now that I've selected administrator. So the next tab or setting over is the agenda item type. So we'll add our focus group item type there. Next, we have our document templates. We'll add our agenda template here. Next, we have our meeting packet template. We'll add our template. And then the rest of these settings I'm going to leave alone for now, but just know that they are available. And then all the way down here at the end, this defaults button. This is what I mentioned earlier in the PowerPoint, and configuring this can definitely save you time in the long run. All right, so back up to our ribbon, we have some more configuration settings here. In the types section, the first we have is attendance status types. Well, that's a tongue twister. Oh, yes, I want to save my changes. Bad on me. Let's make sure those actually saved. Okay. Okay. Attendance status types. This is where you can configure what kind of status type when taking attendance, which options you'll have. The motion results type is where we have the pass, pending, or fail motion options for attendees. And the vote option, the vote types is the vote types that you want to give to the users when performing the vote. And speaking of votes, do we remember one of the enhancements that was made to voting? So up here in the display options tab, if I select it, in the voting client section, I'll select the options. And this is where you can hide certain vote choices. So say I wanted to just give them the yes or no option, I can do that. If I had all of these here, I can also do that random button order selection here, and these will all display in different orders each time to each user. So I'm just going to leave everything the way that it was. I'm not going to make any changes, but I wanted to point that out to you because I think that's pretty neat. So I'm going to go back to my administration tab here. And we are going to finish up on our ribbon with the last section, public access here. We got the options to determine which options display on the Agenda Online website. The page maps is used to create custom pages for the Agenda Online site. And the page styles is used to provide styling options for the Agenda Online interface. So that's agenda administration. So I'm going to X out of here. I'm back in my OnBase agenda. Before I do anything, I'm just going to relaunch it because we made some changes, and just in case they didn't all show up, I want everything to be accessible. So I'll log back in. And we're back to the same home screen that we're familiar with. And now we're gonna talk about the home ribbon here. So we'll select new meeting, and we can find our new focus group meeting type here. We can call it focus group meeting. And Michael Scott was the organizer. And then I'm just going to leave the rest of these options of the same as they are, but you can make this meeting reoccurring, and you have other options in here. So I'm just going to click save, and you can see down here at the bottom, my focus group meeting shows up. I can either double click on it from here, or I can go up to the meeting detail, and it will open up my meeting. So let's say that I want to add some supporting documents in here since we have nothing. It's pretty empty. So I'm going to add an agenda item to this whole discussion section of the meeting. So I can click on the whole discussion, highlight it yellow, and select the new agenda item button here. And I have a form created for this agenda type. And the meeting type is already selected because we already had the meeting open. It already knows what meeting type we are working in. So now I can just fill out the rest of this form. So this will be like a discussion topic. And we'll make it for Friday. So my my question, my topic I have to bring up is, why are characters from the office? Proper grammar here. Why are characters from the office used for usernames in the demo? I think it needs to stop. And then I'm going to submit. All right, and then we can see that discussion topic in our hold discussion section in our agenda. And let's say that I also want to add a meeting document to this. So we'll add one from OnBase, and my find supporting documents list comes up with all my document types and groups. So I'll go and look for my supporting document. I have a test one we're going to use here. And you can see that meeting documents pane is starting to get filled up with my supporting documents. If I generate a document, generate an agenda document, you can also see that pop up here. And in this same information pane, you can find the meeting details if you wanted to change the name or the organizer, change the next meeting type. You can also view the attendance and right click and add attendees if you need to add any, or you can remove them too. Remove. All right, so navigating back to the home tab here, you can see that I not only have the option to add agenda items from the meeting itself, but from the home tab here. Another thing I want to point out is that you can save your search results to Excel. And these buttons here give you that access to workflow and reporting dashboards that we talked about. And there's one more module that's hidden within OnBase Agenda that I think is really neat. So if I navigate to File, we can access our Forms Designer from here. Who knew? I didn't know until recently. And I think that's super neat. So you don't have to go into the Unity client and launch all these things. So here's my Forms Designer. I'm going to just open up real fast that a form that we use for our agenda item. And so I wanted to point out those 3 required fields that I talked about before. We need the agenda item title, the agenda item type, and the meeting type. And so when I select one of these, I'm going to navigate over to my properties pane and scroll down. My field source is what's going to need to be changed for each one of those. So my meeting type will be the field source meeting type. My agenda item type will have the agenda item type field source. And then this one's a little tricky. It's going to be a short item title for the agenda item title. But all of this is laid out in the Agenda Management MRG. So if you forget or you can't remember, then you can always look in there for extra details. All right, so in conclusion, utilizing the OnBase Agenda Management suite of products can transform and enhance your meeting management experience. Meeting managers have many options to configure within agenda administration to ensure meetings are structured and organized according to their different types of meetings. Attendees and other participating parties will always stay up to date by viewing meeting details with Agenda Online. Agenda media can be collected and shared using the OnBase Minutes and OnBase Media applications. And users also have the ability to consistently stay up to date on meetings with the Agenda to Go iOS application. Don't forget, be sure to visit community.hyland.com to find the Agenda Management product page and access training videos, blogs, and ideas. You can also stay really up to date with new enhancements made to Agenda Management by following that page too. All right, it's time for some questions. I see I have a couple questions here. Does a user have to be set up in OnBase to grant voting privileges, or can you grant them to a non-user? So you'd have to do the link the member to the actual OnBase user. So they would have to be a OnBase user to get the voting privileges, yes. Is there a user manual how to learn how to use these tools? Yes. So if you go to Agenda Management, MRGs, those have all of the settings and all of the configuration for meetings that you could possibly imagine. Tons of information in there. Can you state the website again? The website to the product page would be community.hyland.com, and you can just search for agenda management and the product page will appear and you can select the link and follow the button there. Where you can find the MRGs, also community.hyland.com. All right, that looks like all of the questions that I have here. So we are starting to take a new initiative to shout out some customer ideas that are getting some traction on Hyland Community. Ideas are set up to suggest improvements for Hyland products and solutions. When the idea is posted, other members can vote up on the idea, and once the points hit a threshold, the idea is considered by Hyland for future enhancements. So here's a few that I'd like to share with you today. The first idea is to standardize and align all expressions and functions across OnBase. The second idea is for optimizing HSI max num keys table interaction with the database. And the last idea I want to share is to be able to restore or undelete meetings that have been deleted in agenda management. So if these ideas sound interesting to you and you want a direct link to vote on them, please reach out to support@naviant.com. And that's all I have for you today. I just want to thank everyone for joining us for this webinar. Again, if you have any questions or would like to suggest a topic for a future webinar, please reach out to support@naviant.com. Everybody have an awesome rest of your week and a great weekend.